today we are reviewing the Milwaukee chainsaw.
Yeah, used and reviewed. You can read the model number because I can't read it from there.
M18FCHS.
Excellent, because I don't give a stuff about model numbers.
No, got the big 12 amp hour battery in this baby.
That's the key for this.
Yeah, that's going to give you a lot of runtime and power.
Yep.
She's pretty neat, I think.
Yeah, very chainsawy.
Don't start that again. It's a 16-inch unit.
Yes.
Don't know what that is in mil. Everyone talks about it.
400 mil, I think, isn't it?
400? Yeah, it could be.
I think it's 400.
You're right.
I'm not Imperial anyway, so I don't really care about Imperial either.
Mm-hmm.
So it is a 16-inch unit. Battery saws came out and were sort of around the 14, then the 16. Some are now starting to come out with 18.
Yep.
So they're certainly getting up there in grunt and size. Now, Milwaukee reckon this is equivalent to about a 40cc petrol mower, petrol chainsaw.
Yep.
Not sure I quite agree with that. 40cc can do a fair bit, and it's that grunt that petrol have where you can sort of bury it. I'm not sure it's got that at all.
Maybe it'll keep up with a 40cc in a pine sleeper.
Yeah, potentially in the softwoods.
It's a different thing.
Yeah, it is different. And look, one of the main species of tree and wood that we've cut with this, because it's on my job site, is stringy bark. It's an Australian hardwood, and the name stringy bark in itself, it's covered in like an inch to inch and a half stringy bark. That's why it's called stringy bark. It's a mess, mate. Stringy bark in particular is called that for the exact reason. This stuff, it just absolutely drags the crap out of any chain. And to be fair, cordless saws in particular. So it does get gummed up a little bit, and now it's free. So cordless saws do not love stringy bark in general. She's not a bad log though. I'll get that across there. Now honestly, stringy bark it holds all the dust, so it's a dirty bark. So it starts destroying chains pretty quick, and it also just pulls on stuff. It really is stringy. Anyway, take that for what you want. That's just the stuff we deal with around here. So it bluntens your chains quick.
Yeah.
So one of the main things, this didn't stop or get stalled out by it, so it's got enough going to draw through that and spit it back out, but I've had the pole chainsaw has been bound up by it on the Milwaukee and the Ego.
Right.
So it's just a nasty bark. Anyway, this was pretty gnarly. I don't think, it didn't set my wheels on fire.
In terms of power?
In terms of grunt, it's a good unit. It's got your steel teeth here, which I really like, albeit fairly small. I don't like necessarily the plastic. I don't know. I like the idea for the metal teeth to dig in a bit.
Absolutely.
And it almost sort of says, oh, we're a bit serious about it.
Agreed.
In saying that, there's brands out there that have got the plastic knurl front, or filleted front, whatever you want to call it, and they're stuffing awesome sorts.
It's true.
So, got your chain brake. I'm not really worried about that, other than the fact that it's a safety feature that you have to have.
Yep.
So that's great. It's fairly compact. It's not big and bulky at the rear end.
No, they've left it nice and slim down here at the back, which I like.
Yeah, we had quite a few comments come through on Instagram. I know I'm mucking around the whole chainsaw thing, but they sort of said, oh, that actually looks like a real chainsaw. It looks a bit legit. So now that doesn't fix its performance. It doesn't make its performance at all. But people have noted that it looks a bit serious, and it is fairly cool.
Now, when we're talking about performance, this is, I think, the 4th or 5th high voltage chainsaw we reviewed.
Yes.
So we're talking 50 through to 80 kind of volt range.
Yep.
And this is not high voltage actually, this is 18 volt, but to us there's not that much of a difference in 18 volt with the big amp hours compared to 12 amp hours and 12 amp hour.
Yes.
Which are about that another time. But so we've reviewed lots of high voltage chainsaws, Victor, Ego, DeWalt, AG, another Ego, and And this certainly is playing in that field.
Yeah, for sure. It's not the top, I don't think, and we're not doing a chainsaw comparison.
No.
It's not the top, but it's up there.
It's thereabouts.
Yep. It's very hard to tell. Like, even simple stuff and statistics, fair dinkum marketing people out there almost need a bit of a punch in the throat.
Almost.
Because, okay, well, they do. Some of these guys talk about chain speed, others talk about RPM. Stuff me. Work out something that's fairly standard and all talk about chain speed or all talk about RPM at the sprocket, because we actually, I can't be stuffed, and I wouldn't be able to anyway.
No.
You can't be stuffed trying to work out length of the chain, sprocket and all that. We just want to know if they're thereabouts with chain speed. What we're going to say is that this one's down a bit. I think it was the Flexi that really sounded like it had some kick in it.
Yeah.
As a free spool, you go, geez, that thing's right up there.
That one was 15 metres a second, and this is not that fast, you need to hear it.
Yeah, and this talks about 63 or 6600 RPM. So we're not talking apples and oranges with the specs that we can get.
Yep.
Anyway, look, was a cool thing through the timber up at work, and that's a bit of the key. We've done some sleeper footage. Neither of us would hang our hat on treated pine sleeper footage, but there's landscapers out there and there's home users that are going to go, oh yeah, cool, that's awesome for sleepers and that sort of stuff. I don't hold much weight to just cut and treated pine rounds, but some people can understand that that's a 4 to 5 inch round treated pine pole. Gives you an idea of how quick it'll go through. Pretty sharp chain on this one at the moment. So you've got an idea on that. It also gives us a bit of a datum against others.
Yes, it does.
But for us, the main thing is, how does it go through trees, branches, lumps of timber out there in the real world? I don't give a toss what sort of plastics it got here and there. I want to know if the thing actually works.
Yeah.
And it works well.
Yeah, it does work well. It's comfortable to hold.
Yep.
It's fairly,
5 kilo without a battery, I think.
I don't know. Is it?
Just
Yeah,
over?
okay, sure.
Yep.
And the battery weighs another, what, 5?
No.
Another kilo maybe in the battery.
Not, yeah.
It doesn't have tool-free adjustment.
No.
Some people love their tool-free adjustment.
Yep.
Mike's sort of in that category.
Yep.
Others would prefer to be able to tighten it up nice and tight with a screwdriver and a spanner.
It's a bit of a touchy subject, isn't it?
It is.
Some people get just a little bit emotional about it. I really like tool-free adjustment. I've never had the other two that we've got that have got tool-free adjustment. Never had the bar or chain come loose. I haven't had it at the point where I can't nip it up tight enough. Haven't had it where I go, it's all just a bit too loose and wobbly.
Yeah.
I just haven't had it.
It's worth noting though that we're not daily chainsaw users.
Oh, we're definitely not arborists or plywood.
Picking it up once or twice a month probably.
Yep.
Doing a bit of work, putting it back down again. So,
Yep.
which is what a lot of you guys are doing as well.
Yes.
Notwithstanding that there are most pro guys who are on chainsaws all day still mainly use petrol.
Yep.
And for good reason.
Yep.
But there are some guys who are starting to use one of these as their little saw.
Oh, for sure. Arborist, 100%. Matty, my mate, he's an arborist. He's got, I think, the small Makita because he can hook it straight onto his harness, and if he's up there just doing dead limbing, it's perfect.
Yep.
So they're definitely starting to creep into that market really well. Interesting thing to note, which I had no idea, spanner's in the bottom.
Yeah.
I had to walk inside earlier to grab the spanner, and up at work, I've been carting around the spanner in my pocket for that. So Milwaukee, good job on hiding the spanner, but for everybody else, she's right under here. And you just rack your finger in and it just pops straight out. Quite short.
For those of you who like Easter eggs, if you go back through our chainsaw video reviews, I'm quite certain you will find another chainsaw review where Mike says exactly the same thing. Oh, it's got one underneath. Didn't even know. So
I'm a details person.
Anyway, so really good, solid feeling saw.
Yep.
We've also watched the reviews from several other reviewers, and there's mostly positive vibes going out for this thing.
Yep. Yeah, and look, everyone's going to have their own ideas. There's always going to be a few crusty points, but I like it. Oregon bar, Oregon chain. I'm not sure if I'm right or wrong here, but that's all good and well to say it's Oregon, But Oregon don't just have one standard and that's it. They've also got different standards. So, yes, I think it's good because we all like the idea of an Oregon bar and an Oregon chain.
Sure.
Good unit, $4.99 as a skin in Australia, I think.
I think so.
Yep. So, some people say a bit pricey, but it also depends on where you're in the world.
That's not too dissimilar to the other competing products.
No, it's not. There's a lot of petrol ones coming out that are well and truly compete with that on price.
Oh.
So, look, horses for courses. If you're on the Milwaukee platform already and you're looking at a chainsaw, then you're not going to be disappointed with this at all. Warranty, because I always forget.
5 on the tool and
3 on the battery.
2 on the battery.
We might annotate that.
Say 2.5.
Okay.
Take an average.
2.5.
But yeah, good tool. Both like holding it and using it.
Yep.
Please hit the subscribe button up here.
Right there, in front of the screen.
Above us.
Or here.
No, above.
Okay.
Get out in the comments. Tell us what you do or don't like about the store if you're going to buy one. And hit us up on Instagram and Facebook.
Yeah, beautiful.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, folks. See ya.
Bye.